Something Else Gaming. Welcome back to the Something Else Gaming. This episode has a mobile theme. Can you guess what it is yet? Yes, it's mobile gaming. So what we're going to do is, I've still got my headphones on. What we're going to do is we're going to go through a very brief kind of history on mobile gaming and my experiences with it. Now, I'm a 90s baby, so I grew up with the classic Nokia games. Now, I don't have the one I used to use, and I can't actually remember what the model was. But in my hand right now, I am holding the 7110E. Now, I have got the camera on, obviously, but check this out. This phone, it had a party piece. Now, I'm trying to not hit my microphone stand. Oh my god. I don't know if you heard that. I'm going to try and put it on the microphone. It picked it up. Yes, this phone is, what, the predecessor? Is that how you say it? Of the Matrix phone? The one in the Matrix was, well, flat. This one's quite a weird shape, to be fair. But the one in the Matrix was flat. It didn't have an aerial lever, I don't believe. But this phone was my go-to. I had this for years, and I've still got it. It used to be my dad's, and he gave it to me. And the thing with this, it's got buttons. You know, I've shown it to the camera as well, but it's got buttons. It's got a scrolly wheel. That's also a button. Oh my god. But this mobile had a game on it that ruled the entire world. And that was called Snake. And I think it was Snake 2. But either way, I mean, this phone, black and green screen, you know, blew my mind. Even had infrared. But it was, that was like, that wasn't my first kind of, like, I class mobile gaming, not necessarily on the device itself, but I class mobile gaming something you could do when you're on the move, when you are mobile. To quote The Who, going mobile. I sang that completely wrong. But yeah, so I class mobile gaming, again, not on the device, but what it allows you to do. So mobile gaming, for me, is on the move. So, like I said, I used the phone, I played Snake. There was another game, I'm sure it was like Minesweeper or something like that, or Tetris. But my first real kind of, what would you call it, experience with mobile gaming was my Game Boy. Excuse me, I've got a terrible cold right now. No sympathy, but please love me. But yeah, my first kind of experience was with the original Game Boy. Is it the DMG-01? You know, that humongous thing you could stand a house on. Wasn't there one where, I can't remember what war it was. I mean, it was what? Was it the Gulf War? Where one of them, a Game Boy got bombed, or a building got bombed and the Game Boy was in it, and it's still working to this very day. But that was my experience with it. I could go anywhere providing I had 4 AA batteries that weren't shit. I remember many times I was attached, excuse me, to a, well, plug socket really with a multi-adapter. And yeah, getting told you're not allowed to play that because you'll blow up. And you're like, okay, let's just carry on playing Dr. Mario. But yeah, that was my first experience with mobile gaming. But if we keep it to the actual subject of this podcast, the actual mobile itself, I think I've got some notes here. Now, I can't remember the exact model. Again, should have done the research. But I used one of my first phones I had. That was mine. It was a little Samsung. Is it the T100? That sounds very Terminator-ish. Let's have a look. And it was one of the best phones I ever used. Samsung. Crap, what was it? Because I had the T1000. I'm sure a T1000 was real. Samsung T100. Maybe it wasn't T100. Because that's not coming up. Let's have a look. No. Okay. Oh my god. No, it's not that one. I thought I found it then. Oh, I did find it. Oh my goodness, was this it? Why did I say oh my goodness? Oh, I found it. I actually found it. It was the Samsung T100. I knew I wasn't going mental. I'm sure it. Hang on, let's just have a look. Oh my god, I think it was the T100. So it was a flip phone or a clamshell. It's a flip phone, and it had a game on it where you had basically like a Tamagotchi. It was a cyber pet, but it was in color. So this was my first ever color screen mobile phone. So I had many phones before this, well not many, but a few phones before it. But this was my first one with games that were interactive in the sense of like what you would kind of play now. And it was just a simple cyber pet game. I think you could have like a dog or a cat, and you could just overfeed it, and it would get bigger and bigger. And I don't remember it dying, but I'm pretty sure mine's dead now. And I had that phone, and it was awesome. What I remember more than anything about that phone was my dad. Like he went through when he discovered eBay and selling. My voice did a weird thing then, and he used to sell and buy all the time. He brought like a new shell for the phone, like this navy blue one, and he put like an extendable flashing aerial on it. Yeah, we had extendable aerials. It was amazing though. But that was one of my first kind of real kind of wow, this is mobile gaming at its core. Like, when did this come out? Did it come out like 2000 or something like that? Release date. Oh, so it came out in 2002. Bloody hell, it's almost 20 years old. But it was such a cool phone, and I mean, it didn't have a camera. It couldn't even play MP3, I don't think. But it did have a front screen, amazing. And then again, I don't know the model of this one, but my mom had. It was when my mom and dad first moved onto like a contract phone, and she had a Sony Ericsson, and she had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 on it. Now again, we're going back what 2003 or 4. Whenever Tony Hawk's 4 came out, and you could, he was literally just on a vert ramp. There was no like grinds or nothing, or like what do you call it, like free skate mode. It was very linear, and it was brilliant. I was on there for ages, and then I went to, it was a Motorola A835. Now, if I remember correctly, let me have to Google this one now. If I remember correctly, this one had the biggest speaker on the back ever. Motorola, I can't spell. Motorola A835. Oh my, ugh, it's such an ugly phone. Why the hell did I like that? Ugh. I don't remember it looking like that. Jesus Christ. Ugh. I like that phone. Oh, I'm disappointed with myself. But yeah, I had this phone. It had a massive speaker in the back, and I think it only had like 16 megabyte memory. And I filled the phone with 2 songs and loads of Angry Kid. But that had really good games on it. You had like, it was quite weird. You had, I think there was like a joystick in the middle of it, like a really small joystick. And you had things like a racing game, like an F1 game on there. I had Jackass on there, but my dad, again, being mental with eBay, he kept buying like all these CDs with backgrounds and ringtones and funny sounds and videos on there, generally loaded with naked women. But like it'll have 2003, like a millennium, a New Year picture. It would have a New Year picture, but the zeros were taken out, and it was just a woman's boobies in there. But you know. And there was a Jackass game on there. Now, I don't know if it was the real Jackass. I just know it was a really good game. And it was brilliant. I love playing that. So that was another like fun memory, really. But then it's when mobile phones started to really kick off with like 3, the network. Because they changed the landscape, really. Like, with the whole network thing. Instead of WAP, you had 3G. It was crazy, really. Or was it 3G back then? I'm assuming it was. I can't remember. Someone correct me. And the games were just so much more immense. Like I had FIFA on there, FIFA Street, I think it was, on the NEC E313 with the rotating camera on the top. That was mental. Excuse me, I'm just having a drink. And it was amazing. Like that phone was huge though. Like you could sleep on it. It was that big. And my mate Robert, he had the what was it? The what was it? Something like the E616V. It was a flip phone, but it made the most horrendous noise when you open and close. It was like bat breakering. I'm gonna use that as a word now. It's like when you did a bat breaker to someone. It was horrible. And yeah, it was just crazy. Like phones were developing at such a pace that you just couldn't keep up with it. And then going back to my dad, he discovered Chinese phones. So I remember in school I was the first one with a 3.2 megapixel camera with flash and a touchscreen phone. Oh yeah. And I was the first one with a 128 megabyte memory card. Oh my god. But it was brilliant because I could do so many more things on this phone. And it was just really bizarre games. And it's really this whole kind of episode only really came up when I'd finished talk. I met with my cousin the other day, and he was saying like he's training to do boxing, and he was having like one of them sports massages, and obviously you're not really doing anything apart from being either rubbed or abused, which sounds amazing. But he was playing, I don't know which one it is, but Call of Duty on his phone, and he was like, it was amazing. He was so immersed in it, and it really got me thinking about the different games you can get now. Now I'm still very old school with games, I guess. Like there's a game I think it's still out. It's like Uphill Climber, and it's just some dude in like a jeep, and you've got to try and go up the hills and down the hills without breaking. You can upgrade, change it. When it's Christmas, you can have Santa there. It's amazing. But it was very much a case of I think for me, if I want to play games like say Fortnite, Call of Duty, I want it to be where I can sit down and not have my thumbs or my hands covering the screen. And generally, they kill the battery of your phone. I mean, that was the benefit of the old days. Like this phone here, the 7110E, like the back itself was the battery, and this has a... Does it even give me milliamps on these things? No. No, it don't. Doesn't even have milliamps on it. That's how weak it is. No, it don't. That is crazy. No, it just tells me how to what I need to do. It exploded. Oh my god. But yeah, so most of the time, I think the batteries back then they were probably like 700 milliamps compared to now, where you can get them and it's like, I mean, let's just Google my phone. Now I've got to try and spell Huawei. What the hell phone do I have? P Smart? I haven't got my glasses on. I can't see nothing. But Google to my aid. Right, let's have a look. Jesus. Okay, so we'll just use the newer P Smart from 21, I think it is. Is that the same one? Either way, this phone that I'm looking at. Yeah, so the newer P Smart, that has a 5,000 milliamp battery. But again, if you put it into specs like phones now, it's just all screen. But like so I was playing these games and like having a look at them rather just to see, you know, what it's like really. So I've downloaded a couple of games. I had Fortnite on there for a while. I know you can get PUBG on there. I do like playing PUBG. I'm terrible, but it was so cool. Like it's not much. I mean, if you look at the detail, it is graphically inferior compared to like a PC or a console. But at the same time, you've got the raw mechanics there. You've got everything, and the fact that they've got these AAA games that are about 100 gig to install on a hard drive for your computer or your console, and they've put it in one of these. That is amazing. Oh, my phone's bleeping at me. I have no idea. And that's what really baffled me, was the fact that you can play these games on there now. So it was, looking into it, I thought, let's just see how much it's changed and the appealing side of mobile gaming. Now, one thing that appeals to me is accessories, gadgets. And I've seen loads of them where you can get like the steering wheel for like your for like, no, yeah, the steering wheel for like your normal like Xbox pad where it holds the analog sticks. I know you can get them, but something I like for the phone is generally triggers. Now, when you're playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG, there's a lot of shooting, aiming and shooting, whether it's first person, over the shoulder, you name it. And one thing I'll give to mobile gaming, they have made it easier, because a lot of the buttons are on the screen. You have to press the screen, you're covering up the screen. And I know you can map a lot of the buttons, and it was seeing these triggers like accessories, it was brilliant, and it looks pretty cool, to be fair. But I remember when in my first band, our singer, he was mental on stuff like this, and which brings me on to another point in a bit. But like, he used to have loads of emulators on his mobile phone. So he had Game Boy, he had at one point I think he had PlayStation on there, which was insane, because I'm going back to what 2013, 2014, and the games he had, I was just like, this is mental. But when you look at the phones now, the capabilities of the phone, you know, the storage alone is phenomenal. But you look at the processors. You look at the processors they've got. You look at the RAM that the phones have got, and they are astonishingly bloody high. So it got me really thinking about, again, what is the appealing side of gaming. So, like I said, especially on a mobile. So we'll go straight to, we've done gadgets a little bit. I know you can get like the grips now for your phone. I know you can get phone cases, but you can get gaming grips. So you know how you can put like the Nintendo 3DS, for instance. I had this massive rubber grip just because they're quite a thin console, really, and it just made it easier. And you can get loads of them, different gadgets, different triggers. One that baffled me. I need a drink for this. Hang on. One that baffled me. I think it's Razer. They've just released these bloody thumb sleeves. Thumb sleeves? I don't know how long you must game and how hot your hands must get and the phone for your thumbs to sweat. I just hit my microphone lead then. How hot, how long and how hot must you be to get sweaty thumbs? That's insane. But they're out there. I know you can get gaming gloves, but oh my god, I couldn't get over that. But yeah, so accessories, gadgets, you name it. I mean, headsets galore, really. But it's amazing, and especially because competitions or tournaments, you know, there's big money made in gaming now, and especially on the mobile phone front, you can't really beat it. Even something silly like Candy Crush, you know what I mean? People play that religiously to be the better person. It's all competition. But we'll look at another gadget, actually. It's when I first moved on to my contract with the network I'm with now. And I'm going back ages. I think it was called the LG Optimus Black. It was a thin phone, crap battery, but it was a thin phone. The screen was so responsive, and that's when I started playing more. I don't want to use the term 3D, but more 3D games or higher end games. Like that's when I started paying for games and apps. And the problem was the battery was shocking, and the phone was really small, and I've got massive hands. So what I did, I went onto the old eBay, just like my dad, and I found someone who was selling. I think at that point my phone now had like a 2000 milliamp battery, if that, probably less, to be fair. So I brought a battery expansion pack, so to speak, and it was literally a thicker battery at, I think it was 3500 milliamps, but it came with, I mean, phones now, you don't really take the backs off because it's all like one unit, but you could it came with a shell for the back so the battery wasn't exposed, and it gave me more grip. It was awesome. But I mean, like I said, gadgets or accessories more so, it is phenomenal. Like it's the little things you don't think of. I do most of my gaming on a hand console, like my Switch, my DS, or I use PC. I don't really do console gaming all that much. I stream it every now and then, but I'm more into my PC or my hand consoles. But we'll move on to emulators, like I said before. So the first singer I ever got into a band with, he loved his emulators. Like I said, he had all of them, going from like Sega to SNES to Game Boy, and I think that's what really blew my mind. Like with my DS now, I mean, I'm pretty sure Switch is doing it now, where you can get all they are going to do. They can get Game Boy games on like the online part of the Switch on the Nintendo, whatever it is. But how many times do you see, like, here's a shout out, the Retro Dodo. He's always reviewing like emulator games or consoles, like POW Kiddies and stuff like that. And what he does, they're essentially consoles that can play anything up to a degree. Generally, he finds they have trouble with Nintendo 64 and Sega Dreamcast, I think it is. But what I like is, on a phone, you can have all of them on there. Excuse me. And especially how phones are getting a lot more powerfuler, really. I'm using all the words today. Powerfuler. Sounds like something Tesla has on a car. But it was really cool when you look at what you can do with a phone. Like, I remember when the R4 cards were mental for the Nintendo DS. So if you don't know what an R4 card is, it's a brand of card essentially, where you can not necessarily hack, but bypass a lot of the stuff. So you could put emulators of old games, so Game Boy, Game Boy Color, so on and so on. And I used it all the time. And then the R4i came out for the Nintendo i. Then the Gold for the 3D. But if you know Nintendo, when they update firmware and then you reset your console, you can't go back on the firmware because they're bastards. But at the same time, they're looking after their property. I think Soulja Boy pops to mind there. But again, with phones, you can have it all. And it's amazing. Sometimes, I remember when Android really came out, started big. The games, bloody hell. I had Crazy Taxi on my phone. It ran like crap, but I had it. It was amazing. I can gradually feel my voice getting worse. I'm going to have another cup of tea. Delicious. Yeah, it's just crazy when you think about what you can do on a phone, like going from Snake on a black and green screen to playing Call of Duty on a phone. It's honestly overwhelming. But another thing I do like with, not necessarily emulators, but with gaming now, is cross-platform. So I like playing Miniclip 8-Ball, and you can play that on PC. I probably can play it on consoles now, I don't know. But you can play it on your phone, so I can play the same game with other people on different platforms, just like you can do, is it Minecraft now? Or is it, no, I know Fortnite does it, I'm pretty sure Minecraft does it, where you can play, someone will probably be on their phone, absolutely handing me the game, and they're on, I don't know, whatever they want to be on. It's insane. And I think this shows you how far it's come, because we all live very busy lives. Sadly, a lot of people, all they do is work, so when they're trying to game, this is what they get. No one's got room in their bag for a DS or a Switch or a PSP or some Chinese clone console. It's amazing though. But we'll move on. I've spoke about accessories, tournaments and competitions. So we've touched on that a very brief bit, I might add. But I've never entered a gaming competition. I mean, I'd love to get into speedrunning, but that's a different ball game. But what I've noticed now is gaming has become so popular that you can do tournaments on it. So, I mean, like I said, prize money in Fortnite itself, it's like, sometimes it can be like hundreds of thousands. And you just sit there thinking, wow. And all it is just some dude on his phone just tap it. I mean, this is what I can't handle. I mean, I don't know if that's really picking up on the microphone, but I just find it bewildering. Like, I was watching someone doing a review. Oh, was it a review? No. I was looking at the Google Stadia. Now that is the epitome, and I think that everyone knows they cocked up on that, especially the marketing side. But they had it right. It's all about cloud gaming, right? You could literally play a game on anything, providing you have the apps or, the freaking Google Chrome Cast thing. But you could. Now that is mobile gaming, and what I saw was a dude who had his Stadia controller with an attachment to put his phone on it. That's literally the best thing ever, because I don't like tapping on my screen when I'm playing games. I want to see the screen. I don't want to see my fingerprints or whatever. Especially if you've got a big old crack in the screen or, smudgy, I don't know, chocolate bar fingerprints. But that was perfect, and I was like, that's what you need. And I mean, imagine playing something like Red Dead Redemption 2 on that with a joypad, handing people like their freaking dead or alive list. You know what I mean? Their wanted posters or whatever. It'll be awesome. It's so cool the way they do it now, and it is just. I mean, like I said, that phone? When was it? 2002. That Samsung was. If someone told me in like 20 years' time you'll be playing like, what was I playing in 2002? What was I playing in 2002? Need for Speed Underground 2. We'll just say that because that game's fucking awesome. But if someone told me I'll be playing like Need for Speed Underground 2 in 20 years' time on my phone, I would have said, fuck off. It's insane. Like, my mind was blown when Steam, because everyone uses Steam if you're on a PC, and I had the Steam Link and the Steam controller. Won't lie, not the best stuff. Not the best stuff, a bit unreliable. But it was the very fact they did it on, they've done it on the phone, so you can have Steam Link on your phone, so I can play, providing my PC's on or whatever I'm using, but you could play something like, what game am I playing out? Like, I was playing Fallout 4 when I first got this Steam Link on the phone, but I could play Fallout 4 on my phone in bed with my controller pad. That is mind-blowing stuff there. And I think that's the amazing part about gaming in general. Let alone mobile gaming. But I think that's why it's so cool now, because it's so much more out there. Like, gaming now is so much more acceptable. Like, you don't need to be a nerd to play a game. You don't need to be, that spotty kid with glasses in class. I think I said that completely backwards, but you get my point. Anyone can do it. And there's so much more variety, not just on mobiles, but in general, there's so much more variety of games. It doesn't matter what you play or who you are. And that's why mobile gaming is so much more acceptable, because, you can literally go anywhere you want, just get your phone up, done. Like, I mean, I don't have any games on my phone. No, I really don't. I used to have loads. Like, one of my favourite ones at the minute is, I think it's called Cliff Diver, and you just, like, dive off cliffs and do spins and collect coins. Bloody boring, but I love it. It's addictive. And I think that's why gaming's so fun, especially with the competitions, because you don't need to go out and buy. I mean, I don't know how much the PS5s are or Xbox, whatever the fuck series they are now, but you don't need to go out and buy mightily expensive console, like, especially for something like Fortnite. I know Fortnite's free, but to play it, really, you're going to need a high-end laptop or PC. Now, most people, I don't say generally, but a lot of people don't really understand what you need, like specs for a laptop or generally a gaming device. So it's to be able to get it on a phone, that is cool. Just like Call of Duty. Like, I was looking on the Steam library the other night, and games are like 60 quid. 60 quid! I mean, you add that on top of, say, I mean, how much was my laptop? I think it was like $1,000, like when it was brand new. And if you look at that and you think that's $1,000 plus 60 odd quid for the game, my God, that's a lot of money to play a game. But then if you're entering in competitions and you're getting pretty decent money, that's pretty badass though. But it's just brilliant. It just kind of makes the gaming community a whole lot more wholesome, really, more accepted. I mean, I know there's the old war between PC gamers and console gamers, and who's the master race and who's better. And in the end of the day, gaming wins. It doesn't matter what you play it on. You can play it on a freaking MacBook. You can play it on, I don't know. I can't think of anything. You can play it on whatever you want. A potato. You can play it on a potato and a pregnancy test, but you're still playing the game. You know what I mean? Look how many times Doom's been ported onto something completely different, like on a calculator. It doesn't matter what you play it on, as long as you're playing the game and you enjoy it. And that's why mobile phones are cool, because it's there. Everyone's got one. It's easy to port around. I'm really struggling tonight. It's easy to move around. charging's easy because we all got, well, everyone's got bloody power packs. I'm currently using one to charge the light I'm using. I can't actually see where the camera is, I'm guessing. But it just makes it so much more fun. And then one of the last point I put was graphics. Again, we touched on this before, but I think it's a good transition because, like I said, back in 2002, I was using the Sony T100, I think it was, and it had colour screen. But what, 4 years, literally 4 years before that, I had this black and green screen. All I could play was, let me just do a close up. There we go. Black and green screen. Imagine carrying that around in trousers nowadays. All these buff dudes in there bloody painted on jeans. Man, every person would be turning eye then. They'll be like, whoa, he's packing. Then he pulls out his freaking, I don't know, Motorola A835. Oh, it's just a phone. But my point is, like, even with consoles and PCs, you look at how much it's changed. But it, like, over the years, it has gone from like classic PS1, you had GTA 1, GTA 2, London. PS2 came around, what did you have? GTA 3, San Andreas, Vice City. You had these 3D games, blew people's minds. But if you look at mobile, you've gone from literally pixels moving around the screen, eating other pixels, to literally battle royale games. I mean, that Samsung phone I was on about, that came out in 2002, and now that was what, I don't know what bit it would be, probably like, but what would it be? 32-bit? I don't know. But it was crystal clear pixels. It was in colour, not 3D obviously, but it was in colour. It was awesome. Even to the extent where if you overfed the cat, it would get bigger, or the dog, whatever it was. There were so many aspects and mechanics to it. It was amazing. But now, you know, you're playing games that are literally like on the Unreal Engine. They're AAA like rating games, blockbusters, if you will, and you're playing it on a phone. That is phenomenal. I mean, I still probably won't play them because I don't care. I'll just happily sit on my laptop. I'm very much that kind of gamer. But it just baffles me. And the beauty of it is you can play it anywhere. You know what I mean? You can do it. You can play on the toilet. You could play in bed when you can't sleep. You can, I don't know, probably play in the shower. Mobile gaming I'm on about. Literally, it doesn't matter where you are. You can play. And for a lot of the time, apart from battle royales, I guess, you don't need internet. That's the main thing. And nowadays, let's be fair, internet's not hard to find. There's hotspots everywhere. There's, you name it, there's everything. And it's just phenomenal, really. I mean, I really do sometimes think, oh, maybe I should just do a couple of games, but I don't really use my phone all that much. I'm either at work. When I'm at home, I'm either doing this, or I'm doing photos, or I'm doing some other things. I don't know. I think I've said all the stuff I do as a hobby. And I think if I got games on it, I would just kind of be void of life. But it's honestly, it's brilliant. And I think what's scary now is because of how the next generation are growing up, they're not using computer mice. You know, they're not using these. Can you even see it? They're not using these things. Yeah, that's my mouse. It's so light. Literally has lights on it, and it's a light mouse. But everything's point and click now. So it's really cool to see, like, my little boy, like, he can operate his iPad like an absolute beast. I don't know what the hell he does half of the time. But it'll be really cool to see how his generation kind of grow up from it. Like, are they going to be that generation where, you know, you don't have a joypad, you've got, like, I don't know, a virtual, I don't know, holographic thing, I don't know. Even that sounds outdated. But enough of that. I think we can all say that mobile gaming is amazing for everyone. Like my mom, she's always mobile gaming in the sense of, I mean, she doesn't enter tournaments to kick ass. But she does, like I said, Bejeweled, Mahjong, Candy Crush, that sort of thing. Even my dad, to some degree, he would play some mobile games. And it's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, mobiles are great. Take away social media, it's the best thing in the world. like I said, gaming has become so much more of an accepted environment, an accepted community. Anyone can do it. So yeah, all in all, mobile gaming is pretty good. And I'm going to leave it there because my voice is hurting, I can gradually feel it failing, and I need another drink. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.